knows that he has a huge problem with Brood Lord and Infestors, and that's the one thing he wants to avoid.
You're exactly right, man. Well, the map is loading now. It's NesTea against aLive. aLive 1 game away from the finals. We'll see if NesTea can tie things up here. Let's get into the game.
To the top of the map, we have in the blue color once more our Zerg player. It is NesTea! And with the lead in the best of 5, 1 game away from the finals, is the Terran player starting for the Fnatic team. It is once again aLive!
The atmosphere here, man, it is so tense. aLive, what will he do? What sort of opening will we see? This is, of course, a 4-player map. They are spawning at cross positions here. This is going to be a tough map for aLive. If NesTea can secure that early 3rd base, he can produce so many units. Both of these players are so aggressive. I think that's why the series has been so close and so fast-paced, because neither player likes to sit back, try to get the upgrades. They want to attack, 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 and get the upgrades as a secondary priority.
I want them to attack, attack, attack.
Me too, man. It's pretty
So
exciting.
at this point we have cross position for both of them. And this is going to be pretty cool because it actually features a long metro game.
Yeah, indeed it does. This is the kind of positions that you see that one player can do an early rush strategy on. It's just less likely. And in fact, right now, aLive is taking his refinery, so we're probably going to see him go for that Hellion expand that we see so often. NesTea hasn't made his pull yet, and his drone is heading over to make that hatchery now. Again, the question is, will he sneak out those extra drones? In this case, when he sees the gas, he may think to himself, yeah, I can do that. And in fact, he does. 2 additional drones being made just now.
This time he's cutting a few corners. He did not do so in the last game, but it did not go so well either. So at this point, just trying to squeeze in a few more additional units before he starts with his pool. And we might see him taking an early 3rd here once again, but at this point, well, usually what we see on a map like Metropolis is the players staying in 2 bases for quite a while. And I would not be surprised to see Reactor Factory Aliens by aLive here, but he goes for the add-on for the Tech Lab, and will probably just produce a Reaper in order to get some scouting information and go for the Reaper expand.
You're right, that's something that is very likely we'll see. And in fact, there is the Reaper now on the production tab. Something you were mentioning earlier is the Zerg does normally stay on 2 bases. The reason is there's a 3rd base you can take, but it's fairly far away, and until you destroy the rocks that separate the natural and the 3rd base, if someone comes in with Hellions, a Marine push, even a Marine tank push, if your Zerglings cannot get to that 3rd base to defend, you'll lose it no matter what. So this Reaper is not only going to give him some scouting information, he can use it defensively, he may kill some drones.
Yeah, indeed he may be, and so far we don't have any queens, so the Reaper is actually has a very long path before he arrives in his opponent's main base. But we have another SCV heading out here.
Yes, indeed we do.
And he's going for a bunker, exactly.
Yep, and there's nothing to spot. He just barely could see it with that creep coming out here. Very close call though for NesTea. He's actually going to have to pull that SCV away. But as the Reaper arrives, if he's not careful, he may be able to finish that bunker.
That would actually be horrible. The Reaper in the bunker is just so strong. You can pick off as a... Nah, the SCV is already gone.
The SCV is gone indeed, but he does get a drone. Cancels that bunker, is now taking out slow Zerglings here. The Queen pops just in time to prevent the drones from being killed, but he is going for several more Zerglings. The Reaper, trapped by these Queens, will have to retreat. But he's going to try to get as much scouting information as he can. Of course, meanwhile, the command center are almost done for aLive, and his factory is on the way.
His factory is on the way, indeed. We will see some Hellions here fairly soon as well. But now the Reaper is just trying to do a little bit more damage to the Zerglings and force additional ones.
Reaper, oh, he's going to get a little bit too close to that Queen. Barely saves it. What is he doing? Got to be careful with that. Oh, there's not enough space for him to jump down. Great control by aLive, though. Oh, wow,
He's trying to run away from the Queen, but the Zerglings get into position. One poor Reaper.
Yeah, with those rocks, there's just not quite enough room for that Reaper to jump down, unfortunately. Blue Flame is on the way. He's using that same tech lab from earlier. Rather than going for tanks quickly, he's going to go for Blue Flame. That means not only is he going to be able to use those Hellions to control the map as a player would like to here, but those Hellions are going to be even stronger than they would be before.
That's going to be really interesting. I'm curious to see if NesTea is able to fend on these Blue Flame Hellions, because this is something that he probably won't expect. Blue Flame Hellions after a Reaper attack, and after the rebate expand is not really all that common. So NesTea has to be very, very careful here. If the Hellions actually sneak into the base with the Blue Flame Hellion upgrade, he will be in so much trouble. And we've seen a ton of Zerg players die to Hellions in the main base just roaming there, and even to Red Flame Hellions, so this is going to be really dangerous for NesTea.
You're right, man. I mean, right now with that tech lab he's got in the factory, he's got a reactor coming up on his barracks. He can switch those after the upgrade completes, so he can reactor out more Hellions and then use the tech lab to start researching STEM, getting combat shields. He's got a starport on the way as well, so he's got all these different add-ons he can use, a ton of different buildings he's going to start using here. And NesTea, if he takes the third base, he's going to have to be so cautious. He needs to destroy those rockets. He's starting to work on them a little bit with his Zerglings right now, but he has to be so careful, and as soon as he finds out about the Blue Flame Hellions, he's going to have to react accordingly.
One of the problems is also that with the starport that he builds is he can get a medivac in order to drop into the main base, and if you suddenly have four Blue Flame Hellions in your base that he did not scout before, and he's getting a Viking right now, so if he's actually going to kill the Overlords and then builds the medivac after this, takes down the Overlords, make sure that they can't spot that there is a drop play going on, that would be so smart by aLive, that would be really amazing.
Yeah, he needs to do this. He needs to scout as much as possible.
NesTea is actually supply blocked and left for quite a while already. He started to build 3 Overlords, so a little bit uncharacteristic misstep here by NesTea.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic indeed. A scout will be denied by aLive here. NesTea not able to scout his opponent's composition here. We had that switch I discussed earlier, so now Hellions are being reactored out as well as STEM is being researched here. The total Hellion count now is 5. He's got 10 Marines to go with this, and it looks like he's actually going to push out and attack the possible third location for, he's going to go to that third location, see if there's a base there. If there is, he's going to try to force a cancel. He may even trade for some Zerglings.
You have now a pretty significant lead already in the harvester count for NesTea at this point. He is roughly 20 harvesters ahead with a 60 to 40. aLive, on the other hand, obviously has the mules as well, and here comes the push by aLive. Already the Viking on route in order to take down a few Overlords, and actually you will find a lot of them.
Yeah, he certainly will, and this push is going to be so difficult for NesTea to deal with right now. The army supply, 41 for aLive versus 20 of NesTea. He's got his Hellions in position here, and this drop on the high ground is going to try to draw those Zerglings, and the Hellions will make quick work of them. This is a move we saw Slayer's Terrans do in the past, and now aLive is doing it in a different way with Blue Flame.
Oh, here come the Zerglings. They have to be careful. Nice positioning by aLive. I really like this.
Wow. Great positioning here, attacking the Zerglings as they clump up on the ramp. A good Baneling hit may occur. Not quite.
NesTea is struggling right now.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of Zerglings. He does clean up the majority of this army, but now the Hellions are uncontested. He's actually going to try to sneak past the Spineclaw, perhaps. No, decides to turn around. He needs to spot for NesTea's third base. He may send his Hellions over there in just a moment.
And NesTea is going for the spy attack once again, and this time we have one thing that is completely different. This time he did not have to spend tons of gas before. He has 1,200 already backed up, so he will be able to build a ton of Mutalisks as soon as the Spire is done, and this might hurt aLive a lot.
Yeah, this is going to be something he's going to have to face. The Baneling speed, the +1 Carapace.
He's supply blocked again. He's at 86 of 86, and he did not even have any Overlords in production. He builds 3 once again, and he's losing so much time here.
Yeah, he really is. He's got to keep up with those Overlords. The Hellion does sneak into the third base. He sees no drones there, but at the very least he knows that there is a third base there.
And there's the drop in the main base with the Blue Flame Hellions, but he still has to use it. It has already been spotted.
Yeah, and he's actually he's not gonna use it in time. The Zerglings are already out. In fact, he's gonna lose 2 Hellions here. Will pick up the other 2, but he could have done a lot better with that.
Yeah, not the best unit control here by aLive. We've seen a lot better from it by him.
By the way,
Spire has been spotted though.
And the Spire has been spotted, and that Viking is still going around cleaning up Overlords. He's kind of limited NesTea's vision to only where his creep is. He's killed 2 Overlords and forced a lot back. This drop could do some damage though, just barely not.
Well done here by NesTea, and this time he can get a lot more of his Mutalisks. We have now 120 supply against 95, and siege tanks, siege mode, +1 attack, armor, all these upgrades coming up for aLive here, who did not take a third base yet.
Yeah, he's even blocked right now. NesTea going to catch some of these Marines, but as you're mentioning, he has the third command center, but it's completely blocked by this Overlord. He's going to have to clean that up before he can even take it. That's such a frustrating thing to deal with. It's funny because NesTea's creep spread has been so good this game, so has his doing little things like pulling his Overlords back and blocking the hatchery. He's been missing the Overlord timings, though he's being supply blocked so much. He's even supply blocked right now with 3 Overlords in production, but yeah, this drop.
The third right now, and this will do a ton of damage. He loses mining time already, and the Zerglings and Banelings have to run back in order to help out here.
He is going to try to clean up these mutas, though, getting several of them. That is not good for NesTea, but he will clean up this drop, but the damage has certainly been done, even sending the muta back again. NesTea loving to use these mutas, but, you know, I was saying he's missed so many Overlords, but everything else he's been doing this game he's been on top of. His creep spread, his Overlord pulls, his drop detection.
Yeah, everything else was really great thus far, but we have already also aLive with 131 supply, finally been able to take claim to the third base now. He took down the Overlord and is just now landing his command center. So the harvester count is now 74 to 64. aLive is not that far behind, and he can make up for it with his mules. So he doesn't have a problem here, and his upgrades are just exceptional. He's already on his way to get +2/+2, and he has a pretty decent army as well. So this is slowly but steadily evolving exactly in the game that we wanted. A really long game, 3 bases already for both of them, and it does not look like any of them is trying to attack fairly soon.
And here comes NesTea's Muta Murder Squad. He's actually going to come in here and target down some SCVs, even getting a turret. This is something that aLive may have nightmares about tonight after he's dealt with it so many times. Caldor, look at the production tab. There is an infestation pit on the way.
Going straight for the infestation pit here, and therefore we will see the infestors a lot sooner, and of course also a hive tech, the 4th base being taken. And the one thing that aLive really has to do is, in the course of the game, he has to build a ton of turrets. This is something, if you take the 4th base, then you can take the 5th, and you can kind of completely wall your side of the map off with a lot of turrets. We've seen this over and over again in Zerg versus Terran. And here's the hive tech, and we have pathogen glands. So this time NesTea is showing us his late game and his late game composition.
Absolutely. I mean, he's gotten into this game so far. He's been defensive in this game. He's been aggressive at times, but this is the game he's going to be sitting back on the way. He's going to get some infestors out. A nice Thor hit here on the mutas. He's been trying to skimp on turrets as much as possible, just using these Thors instead. But NesTea is definitely keeping him in his base. He's kind of stuck on 3 bases right now.
I really like that we've seen the Thor a lot earlier than in the last games. I really like this. But now he has to be careful with his Marines. The Zerglings actually catching on too many of them, and I expected more of them to die here. aLive playing this very well, and now once again the drop play that he's famous for into the main base, dodging all of the Overlords. Is he able to do some damage here? We already have a spike collar for NesTea. That's something that he knew before, and the spike collar is already, even has SCV with this army.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake. The SCV, though, leading the charge. He will take out an extractor, may get the second one, and on top of all this, he scouts the hive tech, so he knows he's going to have to perhaps start switching into that Viking production. He's going to target down some of these mutas, though, but this time NesTea has plenty enough to take care of it.
And aLive is moving out now. He is moving out. He will try to put on some pressure here. The ton of creep spread. It is just amazing how NesTea kept that pace with his creep tumors. I really love this. And aLive has to make a good job of it. He has to scan a ton of times if he wants to kill every single one of them. And these drops by aLive, they do some damage, but not enough.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of Banelings here, but the Marines will be split. Is he going to target down the orbital? He does, but it's lifted. This is not a good engagement for NesTea. He's losing a lot of units here. His Banelings being dodged as well.
So well done by aLive. I'm so impressed. He killed tons of Banelings.
Tons of them.
Amazing.
And his lift timing there on the orbital, he was not able to, his opponent was not able to target that down, so NesTea wasted several of them on that orbital. Even getting some mutas in the middle of the map, he's just consistently sending small groups of Marines out to kind of tear up that creep spread. But even so, NesTea's creep spread is mostly across the map. And aLive pushing out with a very scary army.
That was really, really exceptional, but now we already have the Greya Spider tech going on for NesTea. And a Zergling run by that is hurting aLive a lot here because nothing is even close to defend.
A good fumble here though changes the game!
Oh my god! Did this really happen?
That really happened, man. He changed the game with that fungal. So many good Baneling hits. NesTea taking a 26 supply lead here. The Greater Spire is getting closer to being done. And to be honest, aLive, he's lifted his orbital. Oh my god, he's going to have to lift here.
He lifts them off.
But the mutas are on the way. He's going to have to drop those Thors out somewhere very soon. There he goes. Nicely done.
But this is just... Oh, NesTea need to be a little bit careful here. But the Zerglings run in, and yep, he can't escape with them.
And he's going to drop one Thor out here. Maybe I'll take out a few more mutas. He's done his best. He needs to get those medevacs away. But
Magic box the Thor.
There are 12 Corruptors on the way, and there's no infrastructure really in place to get a lot of Vikings. So NesTea looks very dominant here. He's up so much now, 190 to 132 supply. The drop is going to commence here, but NesTea should be able to shut it down.
Exactly, he has the Zerglings, he has the Mutalists, and he's taking down the Marines. And even though that the aLive has now +3 armor as well, this is looking very, very grim.
It is looking grim indeed. 3 Broodlords on the way, even 8 additional drones. He's going to go up to 81 drones here. There are 115 Zerglings on the map, and if that's not a good buffer for Broodlords, I don't know what is.
The supply advantage for NesTea is just crazy here, and he has the bank as well. He has the minerals, he has gas, and this is just a horrible situation for aLive to be in, and he knows he needs to do damage now.
Yeah, he does know it. Oh wow, these Marines are going to run in here. He's actually caught NesTea a little bit off guard. He's going to catch some of these Broodlords perhaps.
Just look at these Marines. The reinforcements are being cut off though. And aLive just tries to get into a position, but his main base and expansion are now in danger. He takes down one of the bases of his opponent, but at the same time, NesTea is just going for it, taking out command center after command center and supply depots as well. This is going to get crazy. aLive just trying to do some damage here. But NesTea, will he be able to hold? He's reinforcing his army with more additional Zerglings and Banelings.
Tank hits on those Banelings.
Not killing all of the Marines, but the tanks are already down.
The tanks are down indeed. Does he have enough? Even the Queen's coming out here, and it looks like aLive is still going to push through.
And look at the Harvester supply, 24 to 74, and this makes up for a lot of the supply difference between the two of them. aLive has the better army supply.
Oh, he is tearing through here. He's taken out drone after drone. NesTea may have made a mistake with that Zergling counterattack. Wasn't able to do a lot of damage, and another hatchery will fall.
Guys, if you're fans of NesTea, he needs some support right now. This is pretty dangerous for NesTea.
And right now, aLive has sent several Marines home for a possible counterattack. The drones for NesTea are now trying to escape, and I'm not sure if he can do this one counter. He's making
horrible right now.
He's making some Broodlords, but he has no real support.
He's supplyable at this point as well. He lost too many Overlords. aLive is now just trying to get in position with his orbital command. He needs to repair it though, he will burn down. But the natural of NesTea is going to die. aLive, he might just win here. He lost to NesTea in the group stage with 2-0, and now we have him just seconds away from reaching the finals with beating NesTea 3-1. Will he be able to make it happen here?
It looks like he very well may. There are so many drones here to be taken out. The drones are going to be a buffer for a Broodlord, but that's not the best buffer you can have, and it looks like even with these Corruptors, aLive is going to tear through. He takes out the final Broodlord. These Corruptors will take out the medevacs, but there's no answer for the Marines, and it looks like aLive has done it. I think he will be going to the Grand Finals.
More and more Marines are now streaming towards NesTea's main base. The natural is already gone, and now NesTea just tries to get rid of his money. He's building additional Zerglings right now, just trying to pull something off, even a second pool, but this is going to be so difficult. More Marines taking aim at all of them drones, and there are no Broodlords anymore, only Corruptors. The Marines are about to die, but the main base is now being attacked by aLive.
Yeah, aLive is ripping through that main base. He's killed all the tech, and there are no more infestors out. 2 are about to pop. Those infestors are a key unit that he needs to supply now, 62 to 33. NesTea's counterattacks were very, very strong. They were very dangerous, but since he had so many Zerglings out of position, aLive took advantage of that and tore NesTea apart here. NesTea is in such bad shape now.
The Greater Spider slowly but steadily losing 8 points.
Oh, he cannot lose this Infestor!
No, he can't. He does not have enough units to lose an Infestor. It's such a important key unit. The drop is dead, but the rest of the Marines are going in here, taking down the Brood.
Will aLive do it? He does!
GG! aLive reaches the finals! Oh my god, NesTea loses to the Terran player with 1-3. aLive is able to take the best of 5 series. Amazing play by the Fnatic player.
Absolutely amazing indeed. aLive taking a tough situation, always keeping his army together, having a big strong push. NesTea with a critical mistake, deciding to go for the huge run by. And man, oh man, was it a bad choice. NesTea exiting the stage here.
Pretty disappointed, and some